This is Chuck W30N. I'm operating as W30C Net Control with the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club Net. This radio net meets every Monday here at 8 p.m. on the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club repeater system, operating on 147.12 megahertz and also on Echolink. Membership in the Two Rivers ARC is not required to check into this net, as all radio amateurs are welcome. If you'd like information about the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club, you can write to us at P.O. Box 225, Greenock, PA, zip code 15047. We're off on Internet's World Wide Web at https://trarc.org. That's trarc.org. And we're also on Facebook. Radio Club meetings are held on the third Tuesday of every month except in December, starting at 7 p.m. at the Blainville Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall, 409 Oxford Avenue, Elizabeth, PA. This net for checkage of emergency or priority traffic at this time. All right. I'll be taking some check-ins here in a moment. Does anyone have listing of silent keys? Any radio amateurs who recently passed away? Haven't heard of anything lately, so all right. I'll be taking some check-ins here in a moment. Please, when you check into this net, give your call sign slowly and phonetically. I mean, spell out your call sign and let me know if you have any announcements or comments for the net. Okay, at first I'm going to take a stop here and see, is there anybody on Echolink tonight that wants a check-in call now?
W30C, this is Kilo Charlie 3 Zulu India X-Ray, Jeff and Irwin. Good evening, Chuck, and good evening to everyone on the net. No comments, no announcements.
Kilo Charlie 3 Zulu India X-Ray on Echolink. Anybody else on Echolink? All right, okay. All right, I'm going to start taking some check-ins here in a moment, mostly on the RF side. If somebody wants to come in on Echolink, they certainly can. Let me see. This time I'm looking at officers of the Two Rivers ARC wishing to check in.
W30C. Please recognize Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango, Palm Elizabeth Township. Good evening, Chuck. Evening to the net, no traffic.
W30C. Please recognize November 3, Juliet Hotel Bravo. Portable Jim out here in Pleasant Hill, along with Kilo Bravo 3 Whiskey Papa, Whiskey 3 Delta Tango Papa. Good evening, everyone on the net. Hope to see everyone at Field Day this weekend.
Okay, thank you. I got Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango, November 3 Juliet Hotel Bravo Portable, along with Kilo Bravo 3 Whiskey Papa and Whiskey 3 Delta Tango Papa. Okay, thank you. Anybody else from the board of directors wishing to check in? All right, okay, thank you. All right, let's continue on. I'm looking for stations that are operating mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County.
W30C. Please welcome Alpha 3 Mike Romeo, AA3MR. Name is Walt. Portable, QTH Clareton Works. Good evening to you and everybody on the net. No comments.
W30C. W30C, please copy Kilo Delta 3, Bravo Alpha Alpha. Jeremiah, Portable, McKeesport.
W30C. Here's Kilo Bravo 3, Victor Sierra Papa, Dan, Beaver County. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening to the net.
Kilo Sierra Papa, Jim Portable in Carnegie. Net control. Net control, please call for Kilo Alpha 3, Yankee Golf Lima, Mobile, Bruce in South Connersville.
W3OC, please recognize Kilo Charlie 3, Victor Yankee Mike, West Jefferson Hills.
W3OC, this is KA3, KEV Portable, Betty and Plum. Good evening. Hey, this is W3OC. Here's what I got. Kilo Charlie 3 Zulu India X-ray on Echo Link. Kilo Alpha 3 Mike Radio Portable. Kilo Delta 3 Bravo Alpha. Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sugar Papa. Alpha 3 Alpha Charlie Portable. Tony, you're very scratchy, but I did get the last letters of your call. Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Sugar Papa Portable. Kilo Alpha 3 Yankee Golf Lima Portable. Kilo Charlie 3 Victor Yankee Mexico, and Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Echo Victor. Thank you. That's what I got so far. Anybody else mobile portable or outside of Allegheny County?
At W3OC, please copy Kilo Alpha 3 Foxtrot Whiskey Quebec. Jeff in Greensburg. Good evening, everyone.
Okay, got Kilo Alpha 3 Fox Whiskey Quebec. Anybody else mobile portable outside of Allegheny County? None heard. All right, now looking for stations. We're basically operating base stations, W3OC.
W3OC, Whiskey Alpha 3, IOU.
W3OC. Here is Kilo 3 Hotel India Romeo, Merle and Elizabeth Township.
W3OC, KB3 LNF, Dennis, West Mifflin.
Okay, that time I got Whiskey America 3 India Oscar Uniform, Kilo 3 Hotel India Radio, excuse me, and Kilo Bravo 3 Lima November Fox. Anybody else? All right, we'll take a stop at this point and try to get into the function of this net, so basically the information net, and try to give you information on what's going on in the local area and to some extent world developments too. We know them. We also have a recorded playback of the AR Newsline, which will happen here in a little bit. Okay, the Two Rivers Club, we have a lot of activities we do during the course of the month, which you're invited to attend. We have 3 other radio nets. The Wednesday night nets meets at 8:30 p.m. It's called the Gap Net. It's on this repeater system. It's usually hosted by Steve, Whiskey 3 Sugar Hotel Foxtrot. And it's an informal net. Thursday nights on the 10-meter band, 28,460, around 8 o'clock p.m. We have another version of the Gap Net. It's, again, very informal. You're welcome to join us. And we have still scheduled the 40-meter net on 6 o'clock p.m. on Fridays, though I haven't heard that net lately. Those are just the nets we have. We have other gatherings during the course of the month. On the second Thursday of each month, we have a thing called the Operations Night. That's usually held at the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department, 4312, I think it's 4312 Liberty Way. It says Elizabeth, PA. That's where we do that stuff from. The only times we don't do it from there is when we have operation night on the same night, so we don't do that. That's on Thursday nights. Then on the second Saturday of every month, we have a gathering for the club members and their families and anybody else who wishes to join us. It's called the Hams and Eggs Breakfast. It's held at the Cartneries in the Rock Run Inn restaurant located in Butler's Golf Course on Rock Run Road in Elizabeth, PA. So welcome to join us for that. That's just some of the stuff. Radio Club also participates in 3 or 4 other HF activities, including the Winter Field Day that's held in January, ARL International Field Day, which is coming up here this coming weekend, and we're scheduled, Two Rivers Club scheduled to be operating at the White Oak Park undeveloped site, also called the Water Tower site, located on Carpenter/Muse Lane. The address is listed as Irwin, PA. It's between Irwin, PA and White Oak, PA. Welcome to join us. Visiting hours are probably around 2 o'clock in the afternoon to about 10 in the evening. Welcome to join us for that kind of stuff. We're going to be pretty active on the air with our field day operations with our club called W3OC. Maybe we'll get a little bit more update on that here in a couple of minutes. We also do participate in the Pennsylvania QSO party. That's held usually in October, and that's a lot of fun too. And usually that operates from the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department social hall up there. So we have quite a bit of course, we have a ham fest usually in the early spring. Ours was on April 6th this year, and that's open to all the radio amateurs and the general public who wishes to attend. We do have a Christmas party in December for club members and their families and guests, and also a family picnic in late August, or mid-August, I think I should say, at a local park, usually White Oak Park, and in one of the picnic groves. So a lot of stuff going on with the Radio Club. Welcome to join us. Our website, trarc.org, has a lot of information up there about the club activities. So you're welcome. And of course, we do have volunteer examiner activities 4 times a year, and also at the Ham Fest. This year we did conduct an amateur radio licensing class that was in April and May for the technology. People want to get a technology license. That's already done and closed out for this year. So I'm not saying we wouldn't have it again, but that's kind of what's going on. Let's see. Looking on the regular calendar of events coming up. ARL Field Day, of course, is coming up this weekend, the 28th and 29th. Two Rivers is going to be at the, like I mentioned, the Water Tower site off of White Oak, off of White Oak Park's undeveloped site off of Carpenter Muse Lane. Visitors are welcome to that. We'll be on the air with a club called W3OC. Many other clubs are going to be operating in the area. I got a list off the ARL's website. They have a thing called the ARL Field Day Locator, and it lists a lot of the clubs that are going to be operating Field Day and their locations. There's a lot of them on there. I see Wireless Association of South Hills is going to be in South Park. South Hills ARC is going to be in Fayette Township. Skyview Radio Society is going to be at their clubhouse in New Kensington. Steel City is going to be operating from their clubhouse in Carnegie. Butler County is going to be from Moraine State Park. Port Armstrong Wireless Association in Ford City. The Beaver Valley at their clubhouse. Wacom is going to be located in Finleyville. Union Time Club is going to be at their clubhouse. The Indiana County Emergency Management Group is going to be at a building, I think it's in Indiana, PA, called the Waterworks. Oh, there's all kinds of this stuff here. West Florida County Emergency Amateur Radio Service is going to be at Field Day operating at the Masonic Lodge in Greensburg. Menneson Club is going to be at a park called the Elementary Park in Charleroi. The Somerset Group is going to be at a picnic grow called St. Thomas Picnic Grow in Tate Township, PA, wherever that's at. North Hills ARC. I don't have a lot of information on it. The rumor is they're going to be operating in North Park. That's that's kind of what I got. I think I've heard some other ones too. Hopefully we're gonna have more information on that as it goes along. But like I said, you always welcome to come out for the Two Rivers group. I tell you what, I'm going to take a standby here. Maybe I can get Coach one of the officers to give us an update on field day. N3JHB, if you're not too tied up, can you give us an update on field day? Over. I guess Chip's tied up at the moment, so but I do know we're going to be setting up. Club members are asked to be at the field day site around 7 or 8 a.m. for site setup, and hopefully many of you can make it out there for that. And of course, we have the usual operations and teardown, of course, on Sunday too. So a lot of food and everything's being provided by the radio club. If you wish to bring something to share with others, you're certainly welcome to do that. So we're going to be pretty well set up for that. That's this coming weekend. Looking on the calendar, let's see. July 20th is the Somerset County ARC Hamfest at the Somerset County Votech Center, 251 Technology Drive in Somerset, PA. August 9th is Uniontown ARC Gap Fest at their club grounds on Old Pittsburgh Road, Uniontown, PA. Skyview's got their Hamfest at their club grounds called the Swap and Shop. That's located on Turkey Ridge Road in New Kensington, PA. It's outside of New Kensington, PA. And the last Hamfest scheduled for the year is the Butler County ARC Swap Fest at Unionville Volunteer Fire Department in Butler, PA. So those are some of the things that are coming up. Okay, looking at the various. Let's see if I can find the latest ARL bulletin. Okay, I know radio conditions hadn't seemed to be so good lately. This typical summer slide as we get into, especially on the higher frequencies, has been noticeable. Except on 6 meters, occasionally it's been opening up for long haul contacts. Let's see here. I think we're still being affected by that solar flare thing we had last week. Of course, we do also have summer slowdown and noise levels pick up on some of the bands. There's nothing really that major coming up that I could see. Western Kiribati is one that I worked at T330TTT on Northern Tarawa Island. They've been active, and they're going to be active till September 8th. That's a nice one to work. I've heard them and worked them on the radio. So I think Newsline's got some stuff on DXing too tonight. Also, an item I forgot to mention: North Hills Amateur Radio Club still has their raffle going on. It's a fundraiser for the prizes that included Kenwood THD 5HT, or handy-talkie, a diamond antenna, and a Kenwood rapid charger. There's only a minimum amount of tickets sold, so if you wish to get one, you can attend any of their club events, or you can write them at P.O. Box 15333, Pittsburgh, PA 15237. P.O. Box 15333, Pittsburgh, PA 15237. Okay, let's see, do I have anything else? Probably always have stuff, but I don't have it here in front of me. Okay, I'm going to take a standby. Does anybody need repeats for anything they've heard or wish to contribute to anything they've heard? This W3OC.
Yeah, no need, no repeats. This is N3TAU. Check me in, please. I'm a little bit late tonight.
Okay, all right. Thank you, N3TAU. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, all right. Well, I hope many of you folks can make it out for Field Day with your local radio club or operate from home, too. It's a very, 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 very fun event, and you don't have to do it from out in the field. Some of the groups that I mentioned on here are going to be operating indoors, but especially if you're at the clubhouse. But we're going to be out in the field with tents and mosquitoes and everything else. I wouldn't say mosquitoes, but it's going to be a nice affair. All right, well, let me switch it over and let's see what Newsline's got tonight. This W3OC.
N5AS Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2486 with a release date of Friday, June 20th, 2025 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. Scientists find radio waves with upward propagation. A D-expedition honors a silent key. And Newsline pays tribute to co-founder Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF, 10 years after his passing. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2486 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Jonesboro, Arkansas, here's Skeeter Nash, N5ASH.
We begin this week with a scientific discovery about radio waves that researchers say defies the law of physics. These signals didn't come from somewhere above, but from deep down below the surface of the Earth. Kevin Trotman, N5TRE, tells us about this so-called upward propagation.
Radio signals picked up by a NASA high-altitude balloon have been leaving scientists baffled. The balloon, part of NASA's experiment known as Antarctic Impulse Transient Antenna, or ANITA, was floating 40 kilometers above the continent in search of neutrinos and other particles when its sensitive radio antennas unexpectedly picked up signals that were coming from someplace below, way below, the Antarctic's frozen surface. Physicists said that for this kind of reception to occur, the radio waves would have had to have penetrated 6,000 to 7,000 kilometers, or 3,700 to 4,300 miles of solid ice and stone. Although the balloon project has since been retired, researchers continue to study these unexplained transmissions and recently published their findings in the journal Physical Review Letters. The researchers say that by all models of physics, the signal should have been absorbed by the rock and gone undetected. Scientists know that these are not neutrinos, the particles that they had expected, but are still trying to narrow down what kind of radio signals they're dealing with. Meanwhile, the ANITA project retired. The next instruments to have a go at the mystery will be on board a work in progress. A Pennsylvania State University team is building something bigger and they hope better. The payload for ultra-high energy observation mission. This is Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
For one ham in the U.S., a return to a favorite D-expedition spot in the North Atlantic will have another purpose this year. It will serve as a tribute to a friend for whom that island was home. Andy Morrison, K9AWM, brings us that story.
For Eric Williams, Kilo Victor 1 Juliet, his planned trip to St. Pierre and Miquelon Island, IOTA number NA-032, is for a solo activation. But even as he calls CQ as Frank Papa / Kilo Victor 1 Juliet, Starting on the 28th of June, Eric will not be totally alone. He will carry the memory of local amateur who was his friend, Jean-Pierre Carrere, Frank Papa 5, Charlie Juliet. Jean-Pierre, who was known in the ham community as a welcoming, helpful, and personable radio operator, especially to visitors, became a silent key last September. Eric will remain on the air through the 14th of July and will participate in the IARU HF World Championship on the 12th and 13th of July. It is his 17th trip to the island in the North Atlantic, not far from Newfoundland. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
Here's one for the record books. A teenager from Romania is preparing to beat the world record he set last year for speed in copying call signs sent in CW. It's set to happen this month in Germany, as we hear from Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Ham Radio 2025 at Messe Friedrichshafen in Germany will have plenty to offer international visitors when the three-day event opens on the 27th of June. One scheduled event in particular is likely to draw a crowd, as it showcases the achievements of Yanis Gutaru, Y08YNS, who set the world record in call sign receiving in Morse code last year. In a demonstration sponsored by the Romanian Federation of Amateur Radio, Yanis will attempt to beat that record before a panel of judges from Guinness World Records and the IARU. It forms part of a larger exhibit by the Romanian Amateur Radio Group, which is demonstrating high-speed telegraphy as its centerpiece. In case you were wondering, at the age of 13, Yanis won a gold medal at the 20th IARU High-Speed Telegraphy World Championship with a record-setting maximum copy speed of 1,126 characters per minute, an equivalent just exceeding 225 words per minute. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
This month, hams in the heart of Chicago showed a good bit of heart themselves during a popular half marathon. Ken DeSalvo, W9PXJ, takes us there.
We've seen a lot of things over the years, but the ham operators, they're the most dependable way of communication.
For 3.5 decades, Kerry Pinkowski has been the race director of the Bank of America Chicago Marathon. And in that time, he has watched his race grow from just a few thousand runners to over 50,000 finishers in 2024.
At the marathon last year, we had close to 2,000 medical volunteers.
And of those, about 150 amateur radio operators coordinating medical treatment and transport. The partnership began in 2008 after a dangerous October heat wave cut the 2007 event short. On a course with all asphalt and no shade, water became scarce and communication was lacking.
We didn't have cell phones.
Runner Tate Sackney, K8SLF, was a participant in the Chicago Marathon that year, and like many hams, she was trained in emergency communication. It was after that event that she, Pinkowski, and other amateur radio operators devised a plan: put hams on the run. 68 hams helped out that first year in 2008, and since that time,
they participated in our planning meetings and our operational design of things. A lot of it's geared toward emergency or crisis communication.
And it's not just for the 26.2-mile race in October. On Sunday, June 1st, 40 hams-assisted medical teams for the Bank of America 13.1, the half-marathon version. For their primary repeater, volunteer hams used a Yaesu DR2X in analog mode with a pace of 25 watts right off the rooftop of Chicago's historic Mount Sinai Hospital. The backup repeater, it had an inverted antenna mag mount and a world-class view, as it was housed atop Chicago's tallest skyscraper, the Willis Tower, in the ABC Chicago WLS-TV transmitter suite. These special ham teams aren't unique to Chicago. They also assemble for other World Marathon majors such as Boston and New York. They play an important role at the Marine Corps Marathon and several others across the globe. So when distance runners are in need of a hero,
it's the ham operators that are there to save the day.
In Chicago, I'm Jen DeSalvo, W9TXJ.
Let's face it, amateur radio can be hard work, especially lately with the sun sending some geomagnetic storms our way. Still, it's June, and for many of us, that signals a chance to have a little more fun in spite of it all. Jerry Goodrich, KF5KRN, offers us a few options in a few modes.
Young hams around the world have once again declared this Meme Appreciation Month, even though this activity actually runs through to the 15th of August. From Hungary to the Philippines, Canada, and Austria, the popular activity of sharing icons and text is spelled out in the operator's clever call signs used specifically for this event. Most participants use FT8 and SSTV. Meanwhile, CW operators of the Straight Key Century Club have just wrapped up another round of the monthly randomgram exercise decoding randomly generated letter and number combinations. The 24-hour event began on Thursday, June 19th. Finally, there's Ham Words, in which amateurs sharpen their skills using WinLink by playing a game based on the wildly popular mainstream word-based guessing game, Wordle. This is the third year participants will be transmitting 5-letter words to the Ham Word station. It's a lively, highly competitive activity in which results are posted on a leaderboard. For technical requirements and rules, see the websites in the text version of this week's Newsline script. Don't forget that hams just want to have fun. This is Jerry Goodrich, KF5KRN.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including WA5AIR, the Texas Link system, which carries Newsline on 7 repeaters on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 7 p.m. local time. There's been a setback for yet another broadcast radio station that has been hit by copper wire theft. Cell MB, KB3TZD, brings us the latest.
3 men were arrested in Memphis, Tennessee, and charged with the theft of copper wiring from a local AM radio station, temporarily knocking it off the air. Radio Ambiente, WGSF 1030 AM, the city's first Hispanic radio station, which had been broadcasting for 30 years, went silent on Sunday, May 18th. The station, which serves a regional audience, was able to return to the air this month after the FCC granted a license for its use of the on-site translator at 101.5 FM. According to news reports, the station's owner discovered copper wiring and copper components were stolen after he visited the transmitter towers to determine the source of the problem. Police said the transmitter building had been broken into. Copper wiring that ran underground to the radio towers had been cut. The copper cables and other components were missing. The station's owner, Sergio Butron, told local media that it appeared the thieves gained access after breaking through a chain-link fence and several locks. An engineer at the station said replacing the equipment will cost an estimated $170,000 on top of engineering fees. Police report that 3 suspects were arrested less than a half-mile from the transmitter towers. The men were found with the stolen copper cables in front of a nearby house. This is Selembi, KB3TZD.
The Alberta Digital Radio Communications Society has learned it can proceed with its IP400 project by autumn, thanks to a grant from Amateur Radio Digital Communications that will permit the hiring of necessary technical personnel. Many amateurs got a preview of IP400 at Hamfention in Xenia, Ohio. The data communication system was demonstrated using Raspberry Pi Zero HAT transceivers. HAT stands for hardware attached on top. The system's goal is to deliver over-the-air data speeds of at least 100 kilobytes per second, a speed that far exceeds that of most current amateur radio data systems. According to the IP400 website, the project first aims to present an assembled node to developers, experimenters, and others for testing. The World Radio Sport Team Championship isn't taking place until next year, but this season there was a bit of competition before the big competition, and now there are 2 winners. Jason Daniels, VK2LAW, tells us who they are.
Organisers of the World Radio Sport Team Championship have announced that 2 teams of seasoned de-expeditioners and contesters are going to the 2026 competition in the UK after placing the winning bids to secure a place in the running. All other competitors in this international Olympic-style radio event qualify by virtue of their contest records, but these 2 sponsored teams, one headed by Adrian, KO8SCA, and the other by Cesare, SP5Y secured spots as winning bidders in an auction. The minimum bid was $20,000. The opportunity to purchase spots in the competition is a way of helping the event with a substantial budget. All teams are bound by the same operating rules. This is Jason Daniels, VK2LAW. In the world of DX, HA8PX, HA8LLH, and YO50ED will be active as TC0MAR from Marmara Island, IOTA number AS201, from June 30th through to July 5th. Listen on 30, 20, 17, and 15 meters, where the operators will be using CW, SSB, and FT8. They may also be operating their personal call signs with the TC0 prefix, QSL via their home calls. Michelle, F5LRL, will be on the air holiday style as CN2DX in Morocco from the 25th of June through to the 30th of August using CW, SSB, and FT8. Look for Michelle on 40 through 6 meters, QSL via his home call. Listen for the call sign TM5RE from Ree Island, IOTA number EU032, in the Bay of Biscay until the 22nd of June. It is being activated by the team of F2VX, F4WEO, and F9IE holiday style using SSB, CW, FT4, and FT8, QSL via LOTW. Eric, GM5RDX, and Graham, 2M0IJU, are using the call signs J38DX and J38LD, respectively, from Grenada, IOTA number NA024, from the 5th through the 13th of July, operating mainly SSB with some FT8 on 80 through 10 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. We leave you this week with these final thoughts. Anniversaries aren't always for celebrating, and what follows here is one of those examples. 10 years ago, on June 12, 2015, Newsline lost its co-founder, producer, writer, and friend, Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF. We thought it appropriate that Jim Davis, W2JKD, one of Bill's original team members for 36 years, rejoin us this week to mark this very personal occasion for Newsline. Jim?
I first met Bill Pasternak in the early 70s on a very popular 2-meter repeater while I was working in New York as a DJ. We quickly discovered that we shared many hobbies and interests. Bill was deeply interested in broadcasting, and he and Sharon were newlyweds at the time, and my family enjoyed spending time with them at many social events organized by our local ham radio group. But as is typical in broadcasting, our careers took us in different directions in different cities. Maybe it was karma, but both Bill and I eventually landed in Los Angeles. He'd secured a job at the TV station for Fox, and I joined KHJ Radio. It was wonderful to reconnect with my old friend. Bill was incredibly ambitious. He had more hobbies than fingers and toes. He shared with me his vision of creating a newscast for the amateur radio community. And in 1977, he brought that vision to life with the launch of the Westlink Amateur Radio News. Bill invited me to become one of the presenters, but little did I know that would be the start of a 36-year journey that would eventually become Amateur Radio Newsline. Over the next 3 decades, my career took me to many cities. Dallas, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Los Angeles, Charleston, Daytona Beach, Grand Rapids, Long Branch, New Jersey, Daytona, Sarasota, and finally Vero Beach. I had Mayflower van lines on speed dial. In those early days during the 70s, Bill would gather the news, he'd write a script, he'd call me on the phone. Remember when long distance was really expensive? He would read the script aloud, I would type it as he spoke, and once finished, I'd head off to the production studio to record and edit the script. Then I'd drive to the post office to airmail a 7-inch reel of tape to Los Angeles. Bill would splice up the actualities and then transfer the final version to a 20-minute cartridge tape. That tape machine was set up to auto-answer the phone line at Bill Ornstein's home, distributing the news to the ham community around the world. As technology evolved, so did we. In 1981, Bill and I each bought Commodore 64 computers. And with the addition of a telephone handset modem, we reduced the scripting process from hours to minutes. Reels of tape gave way to cassettes, and then a decade later, digital audio revolutionized how amateur radio newsline was shared on the internet. While the delivery system has changed, one thing remained constant, and that was our friendship and Bill's unwavering commitment to this project. This week marks the 10th anniversary of Bill's passing. His legacy continues to resonate throughout the amateur radio community. Bill was a deeply spiritual man, and I believe He'd be honored to know that the Amateur Radio Newsline continues to deliver this weekly missive with the same passion and purpose that he instilled in it from the beginning. You know, they say we're known by the company we keep, and in Bill's case, his presence and contributions to our hobby are truly endearing. I was personally honored to be a part of his vision for 36 consecutive years. This is my first time back behind the microphone since his passing. I find it poetic that Bill left us at age 73. In our world, that's no coincidence. 73, my friend. I'm Jim Davis, W2JKD.
With thanks to Amateur News Daily, AMSAT, ARDC, David Behar, K7DB, DX World, Gizmodo, Lucian, YO8SLC, Newsweek, QRZ.com, Radio Society of Great Britain, Radio World, Shortwaveradio.de, SKCC, Wireless Institute of Australia, WREG Radio Memphis, WRTC List, Youth on the Air, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Skeeter Nash, N5ASH in Jonesboro, Arkansas, saying 7-3. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2025, all rights reserved.
Okay, this W3OC, that concludes this week's Newsline transmission. I don't have any more things to announce tonight, so at this time we'll take some check-ins. This is W3OC. Anybody else wants to check in? Okay, I don't have any more check-ins or anything like that. Let me see here. Let me count the check-ins. Okay, I'm going to close the net out this hour. I count 19 check-ins on the check-in list. Looks like we got a band opening. I'm hearing some users coming in into our system here tonight. Okay, with that, I'm going to close the net out at this hour. Turn the repeater back to down. Amateurs. This W3OC also knows W0N closing the tours. Good night.